We live in a world that measures our worth by how much we can produce, how fast we can move, and how connected we stay. But tucked away in Sawyer Yards is a woman who has had the remarkable courage to build a space that asks us to do the exact opposite. Adrienne Binder is the visionary heart and hands behind Restoration Studio. Anyone who has followed her journey knows she possesses a rare, intuitive gift for seeing the beauty in the messy middle. They also know she has a profoundly gentle spirit that makes everyone feel instantly seen and safe. She didn't just open a business to do this. She curated a sanctuary for the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. With her exquisite eye for detail and her deeply rooted wisdom, Adrienne is teaching an entire city that rest isn't just a luxury, it's a creative act. Today, we're sitting down with the woman who is helping us all live lighter and rediscover what it means to be whole in a beautiful space. Please welcome Adrienne Binder. Adrienne, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's so great to be here.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. I feel so lucky that you have, because I know your schedule, we're going to talk all about it, that you were able to fit me in today and make this happen. It means so much. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. I love to share and I just love to connect. That's one of my favorite parts about what I'm doing right now is just connecting with other people. And I love those moments when the world stops and this is what I get to do because that's the best part. So.
Oh, I love that our time together is now the world stopping. That means
it is.
It
is. The world's stopping. You just get to be present and here and connected. And that is pure treasure. So
you've shared that you've dreamed of a healing space like this since you were in middle school.
Yes.
Can you take us back to the beginning of what was the original spark or life experience that inspired the vision for Restoration Studio?
Well, I would say from the time I was young, I had a moment where some big traumatic things happened in my life. And I just made a promise that someday that I would help others navigate that too, if I could just make it through that. And so I just have always had this dream of just having a healing space. And the dream and the vision is very big. And I'd just been waiting for that moment. And I was you know what? Part of that is having this place where people can come in and create and connect with themselves and their voice. I was you know what? I don't have to have the monstrosity now. I can start small. And so that's where I knew in this moment, I could take that first step towards creating that space for others to heal and connect. So yes, this is my first step.
You say, you went through these really hard things really young. I love that even in that moment, you knew you wanted to be a protector.
Yes. Yeah, I did. Just because I knew that if I could make it through just being me, little old me, then whatever it was that I gained from that, to just be able to share that with others. And I think that that's the beauty of walking through hard things is that you can speak into the lives of people that no one else can. Because if you haven't walked through it, I'm sorry, your opinion, it doesn't impact me the same. I appreciate the care and concern, but there isn't that resonance that it really makes an impact upon my life. And so to be able to take those things and now to speak into the lives of others it's super powerful and it's just really life-giving. It brings me joy.
Do you find that it's even more healing for yourself each time you get to help and work with someone else?
Oh, absolutely. That is that's the gift on the other side.
Yeah.
Because that is truly where I do find my greatest moments of joy. And I remember I was back in my 20s, I was working with some kids at a foster care center. And I was going to do this thing, right? That I just really wanted to go do this thing.
Right.
Oh my gosh, what you walk away with on the other side, the life that brings to me, you think you're going to give, you're going and you get, and that's where I first really started in a bigger way, connecting into the community. And it's what I got out of that just really changed me. And ultimately I went on to become a foster parent and now I want to work with kids aging out of the foster care system. But that was one of my first steps of going in, and I would take different art supplies, which is funny now,
Right.
And,
not knowing
right.
Hey, this is where we're landed.
And we did a big, huge fundraiser at the time where people brought in all sorts of things for the kids to do, to act out, because it was so much easier for them to share their story when it was someone else's story.
That makes sense.
And so they would act out. So we did all of the hats and the gloves and the scarves and all the things for them to dress up and act out. And that was just a big turning point for my journey. Yeah.
What a beautiful impact for both of, for everyone involved.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I love how we can look back on those moments and see how it brought us here.
Yeah, there's all of those seeds along the way. There's those little lights that like you look back and you're like, it's all connected. Like this has been who I've been my whole life. And to see it now all kind of culminating in this bigger thing is really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool how you're getting to use it.
Yeah.
You speak on the kind of tired sleep doesn't fix.
Yeah.
Was there a specific season in your life where you felt that the most deeply? And how did that shape these walls that you created today?
Yeah, I think for a very big chunk of my life, there was, I didn't really take the time to take care of my needs, to recognize my needs, to know my needs.
That's so real.
Being a giver and being a mom and wanting to mama everybody in the whole wide world, you just keep going and going and going. And so I think it was probably around 5 or 6 years ago that I had this big turning point of like coming to a place of I need to take care of me in a new way and connect with myself in a new way. And I've always done art, but it was a moment of really setting aside time to take care of myself physically, mentally, emotionally, and really start a different part of my healing journey. Because I think part of it, like in your head, and part of it, like you have to actually do physically for yourself on a daily basis as part of like your daily routine of life.
Right.
And so having that space for others to come in and to just have everything set up and to exhale and have that moment of connection is just a big part of that for me. Yeah, it's so healing. It's so good.
What was that, if you don't mind me asking, what was that moment for you where you kind of realized like, oh, I'm not taking care of myself? Like, what did that feel like for you?
I was very frustrated. I was exhausted. And it's so interesting, and I'll be really vulnerable. In relationships, I was a smoker. I would smoke cigarettes. So bizarre, right? But then I would be single and I would not. And I was like, and it triggered something in me of like, what, there's something going on. And I'm a super reflective. I have to dig deep and figure things out. And I realized that every single time I had a need or needed to say something or I would just go smoke a cigarette. And when I'm single, I wouldn't do that in the same way. I think I probably had more of that time, but I would kind of get lost once I got in a relationship of like over-giving. And so I went on a 4-day little retreat by myself and
Love
to like
that.
navigate like what is happening with me. And after that, I can't even smell a cigarette. But I started really not only like speaking up and using my voice when I needed to, but slowing down and taking the time for myself in a way that took care of me. Because if I'm not taking care of me like really, really well, then I have nothing to offer. So I was very tired. I was very frustrated. I was very overwhelmed. And I was done smoking when I had never I'll go through years of not smoking, So
Yeah.
I saw that as a key of like, hey, there's something going on deeper here and you need to navigate it. So that was a big moment and since then it's like, yeah, I feel really different in the way that I say all the time in front of my kids, I matter.
Yes.
I matter too.
I love
It's
that
been
you
my
say that.
mantra
And I
for,
love that you say that in front of your kids.
Yes.
That's
I do say that in front of my kids. No,
huge.
I matter. Yeah. So that's.
Because you do.
Yeah, I do. I matter too. Yeah, I do matter.
Yeah, and we know these little humans are so important to us, and we sacrifice a lot, and we do it lovingly, willingly, happily most of the time.
Yeah. But you get to the point if you're not taking care of those needs for yourself,
Yes.
that I am not the same loving, caring. No, I am irritated,
Right.
frustrated, tired beyond the point that there is nothing. I'm not giving. If I took more time, I would have more presence to give and more love and more kindness and more connection to give on the other side of taking care of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I fully agree with you. And I love a few things about what you just said. One, you're so introspective. And the fact that you were able to say, I'm doing this thing that I don't usually do. Why am I doing it? And then you wanted to work on that and say, like, this isn't what I want to do. this isn't who I want to be. And you're like, I'm going to dive into understanding this.
Yes, I love that. Like, I love understanding those pieces of myself. And when I see those little clues, like peeking in and like figuring that out. And I know not all personalities, everyone's different, but that's just my jam. Like, I love psychology. I love like the internal workings of like the mind and personality.
Neuroscience.
I'm super into neuroscience.
Oh my gosh, we need a whole separate podcast for this because I love that. We have so much to talk about.
Oh yes. If you do, we're gonna go off in a whole different direction.
I'm like excited. We'll just have to get coffee or something after this.
Okay.
Okay, so why was this the right season of your life to finally bring this dream into the physical world?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, we were chatting before we got started. I don't know if I always know if it's the right time or not the right timing. I just take the next step in my life. And it was just that moment of like, okay, this is the next step that needs to happen in this moment. And then you do that one and everything else keeps unfolding. And so every day I wake up and I just do the next right step of the next thing that happens. I feel good about it in the next day and it just kind of unfolds. And that's how my life is really woven together. So yeah, I don't know if I had a perfect season in mind. I did always know that once my youngest went off to kindergarten that I was looking towards doing something a little bit more outside the home.
Timing wise.
Right. So I did have that in mind. And so, yeah, she starts kindergarten in the fall. And so that kind of timing is lining up a little bit for me to actually be outside the home for the first time in a long time.
I really love that you kind of just take the next step, but then you release it.
Yeah, you just let it go.
Which is so hard to do. Like, I love how you're kind of saying it like, oh, yeah, I'm going to the store, I'm picking up soup. You're like, I'm just letting it go. It's really hard. But I love that you have gotten to a place in your life where you're like, I can see where my choices have got me and I have to trust.
Yeah. That I have to trust. And my life is a sum total of my choices, you know? And so every day, if I know I'm making those choices to like invest in myself and my family, into the things that I know that like I can make a difference in, that all of those things, it's just going to naturally evolve over time. And so, yeah. There's parts of me that are very type A and organized, and I have a very big vision, and parts of me that I am like super free spirit, like let it flow. So yeah.
You're like an onion, like a beautiful, whimsical, structured onion.
I was just having a therapy session this week, and I was like, I've always seen myself in my journey like I'm an onion. So yeah, I just actually said that.
I get you. I see you. I see your beautiful onionness. This is amazing.
There's different layers.
Yes.
You know, there's different layers to healing and growth and evolution and time, and each one, like you just kind of evolve through these different layers. Yeah.
And brings you to who you are each moment.
Absolutely.
And your next decision, full circle.
Yeah.
You're incredible. I feel like I'm already just like getting so much from our conversation. I feel so inspired by your presence.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. Let's talk about that beautiful name, restoration.
Oh, yes. Restoration.
To you, is restoration about fixing something that's broken, or is it simply returning to who we already are?
It's both, because I do think everything is about returning to who you are. Who you were created to be, like that person that took their first breath and the essence of that personhood that was placed on this planet, like returning to that. But yes, there's healing that many times needs to occur, or just discovery. You know, maybe sometimes people, they don't have this big thing to heal from, but they've never just taken the time to discover, like, who am I? What is my voice? What do I think outside of culture and society and family and boxes? Like just really getting beneath that surface to really connect with that person. Like I was in my 20s and was like, okay, like what do I love? What do I hate? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Like, what do I think? How do I feel apart from everything else? And that connection to self is also, to me, like being restored and restoration to that person outside of all the societal stuff.
Yeah, because those society words, language, whatever, is loud.
Yes, it's loud. Very loud. And what's interesting too, and I love this because I love a globalized perspective. And when you go into a different place in the world, it's completely different.
Right.
And you go to another place or this other community and it changes. So it's like amidst all of that change and all of the voices, who am I? If you're breathing on the planet, I don't care what color of your skin or what piece of ground you're standing on, you have dignity, you have worth, you have value, and your voice matters. And I just love humanity. And besides like getting into art, when I travel, it is the other thing that it makes me come alive in such a special way just by observing.
Right.
It's just such a life-giving thing to see people in their communities. And I'm so fascinated just with culture. I think it's always been a big part of who I am.
And we can take so much and apply little things we learn to our lives and continue to, change and be.
You think like that, you live like that. Like each culture is so different and each one lends so much. And so they're like little treasures that you find when you travel of just the way that people articulate and express themselves and connect. And it's just, that's what I really love about just people. Yeah.
And you get to bring that into restoration.
Yes.
And into the studio.
Yes. We want to do a global arts.
What would that look like?
So
I'm like, I want to know everything.
Yes. So in my studio, you can come in, you can pick a medium and you can just create, right? So there's part of that. But then we do these guided sessions and every table is curated with different art supplies, different inspiration to get you started. Well, at some point when my brain is not quite so fried, I want to change them all. And I want each table, you can come in and have a different global art to explore art from around the world because it's not just our art that we do, right? Like I want to see like the different techniques that I've never explored before. So I'm going to have a moment to exhale to absorb it all first.
That's so reasonable.
And then I want to set up and let's explore art from around the world and just the different techniques that people bring. Yeah, absolutely.
When you can get so tactile with that, like there's so much we can do. My mind is like a flurry.
And to show up, so each table to have it curated and just different things that you can touch from different places. And Houston's such a great place for that because we have so much diversity to pull from here.
Yes.
But I need global art in my life.
I feel like I'm a part of the process right now. I feel like I'm really involved.
I'm externalizing this whole thing as I'm sitting here.
It's beautiful though. And I love kind of watching and hearing how your brain is working.
That is how my brain is working.
I love it though. It's so beautiful because I'm hearing the process of your dreams.
Yeah.
And what your goals are for the community.
Yeah. That is such a big, each person deserves a place to be celebrated.
Yes.
And art is such a big part of culture. And so to bring that in to celebrate everyone's voice matters. Yes. I say that in my home a lot too. And in my classroom as a teacher, when I was a teacher, everyone's voice matters.
Yes.
And I want it to be heard. So.
And you're giving them a space to do that.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Talk about restorative.
I know, it's so good.
You can walk in feeling like, I don't know if my voice matters. And you're literally giving them a seat at the table. Literally.
Yeah.
A place to have their voice be heard and to hear others.
Yeah.
What is one part of yourself that you've had to restore or rediscover while building this business? Or even outside of that as you've been planning?
Really, it's interesting that you say a seat at the table. Last fall, I went to the Lanier Theological Library.
As one does.
Have you been?
I've not, but you should. Okay. I should.
It's here in Houston. It is the most stunning place on the planet where you can go and just have a reflective moment in your life. And this entire library was full of all of these amazing voices throughout history and time. And I just had a moment of recognizing I have a seat at the table.
Wow.
And that, I could still probably cry.
I have goosebumps.
I know. I wept
and
wept. Like, I have a seat at the table. Yes. And so.
Here me cry.
I'm constantly reminding myself because I think identity and worth and value is something that's so easily lost.
Yes.
And so to constantly stay in that place of like, no, what I have to say is important and is the way that I want everyone else's voice to be heard, like mine matters too, and really finding that seat at the table that there's one just for me, and it's a good one too. So.
Oh my gosh, that's stunning. That's stunning. I'm the whole visual. I'm like losing it over here.
It was so good. I recommend everyone go to the Lanier Theological Library and walk through their gardens. It's the most beautiful place ever. And go find your seat at the table.
I'm going to.
There's one.
Right. They have to. They're ready for you. I take myself on dates as a part.
I do too.
You have
that
to.
That was my date day. That was a date day for myself.
I'm gonna copy your date day and I'm gonna do it. But that's a big thing for me because I'm also like on this journey of like I want to know who I am and I want to. So this is so inspiring and I love that even hearing that you are somebody who's been on this journey and worked for a long time to know who they are. You're still having to remind yourself of those things.
Yeah, and I always have to circle back to that. And when I feel a little bit lost, that is the starting point. And that's like some of the work that I do. I have a whole curriculum that I just launched yesterday,
Okay.
actually.
Can't
And it
wait.
is my journey so I went through a really big, messy relationship. And on the other side, my big question was what was going on with me? And I realized that there were so many things that I did not know just about like identity and healthy relationships and just really how to engage in life, like by setting boundaries and taking care of myself. And so I wrote it years ago and I've never done anything with it. And I was like, you know what? Let's just throw that into the pot and mix it up. So it's out there for free. Anyone can access it.
Okay. Where can we access it?
It's going to be on my website,
Okay.
restorationresources.org. And
Okay.
it's there. And it's a really big part of just of what I've learned along the way. And so, yeah, it was 13 years ago that I kind of started processing all of this. And so, yeah, it's just kind of articulated. But the big key to all of that, Chelsea, for me, and the very first starting point of this curriculum is identity. And that's where I always have to circle back to when I feel like I'm getting off kilter, I'm taking on too much, or I'm really doubting myself again. That's always the starting point. So
Am I able to ask? Because it might be like a really big question. You're like, okay, we don't even have time for this.
Okay.
But I talk with my hands so much. But what are, just for our listeners right now, what are like one or two questions they could ask themselves right now to kind of help guide them to kind of figure out who you are in a moment, to like recenter yourself?
I would just say, I don't know about recentering myself, but if there's something in your life that you don't like and that you're not happy with or you're stuck on, maybe just why?
Stop. Okay. Asking yourself why.
Why? Like, why am I choosing this? Why is this the way it is? Like, what's going on with me that I'm, because like my life is a sum total of my choices, right? And trauma happens where it completely evades your choice. But when hard things are happening that you were continuously choosing, I think that was the big deep dive into like myself as far as like because there's something going on if I'm allowing someone to disrespect me, or if I'm smoking, right? Like instead of like communicating basically, or if I'm swallowing my voice instead of speaking up in a respectful, loving way, like, or doubting myself after I do so. Like those are all different things of like why and what's happening on the inside of me. And when you get to the bottom of them, I think that's where you find the transformation and the change that you're looking for.
I'm shook. In the best, honestly, I'm shook because it's like, and I don't want to say it's simple because it's hard to ask yourself why,
But it is simple.
but it's also really simple. Yeah.
Simple. It's slowing down long enough to connect with yourself. And I think a lot of people are really scared to do that.
Yes.
Because it's scary. On the other side, what are you going to find? And you might find some broken places. You might find some grief that needs to be processed. You might find a big chunk of your life that you've just kept on a box somewhere that you really need to bring it down and like have some healing in those moments.
Yeah.
And that is really scary for people. It's really hard. And some people don't choose to go there.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like wherever you are, like embracing yourself where you are and loving yourself in that space until maybe at some point that is more comfortable.
Yeah. Like that's a box you can come back to.
Yeah,
and
you
open.
can come back to it later when you're ready, because that might be too big for where you're at. Right now, you might just need a glass of water every morning and a slow walk while you listen to the birds. Like, but it's honoring that place within yourself until you are ready. Yeah, for sure.
I'm feeling so many feelings.
Feelings are great.
Feelings are so good. People don't usually make me this feeling-ish. And I love it. It's so refreshing to be around someone who's just, here to say like, yes, like dive into who you are, but dive into who you are at the pace you need to, at the speed you need to. At the
100%, because the whole point is just to love yourself well again. Because we've been pouring it out to the whole world, or we've been lost in these different relationships or whatever it is. And like, I think that the biggest thing is just taking a moment to connect here. And from that, everything else flows, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we were to walk into Restoration Studio right now and take a deep breath, what does calm actually look like in the space you've built?
Oh, calm looks like the freedom to choose. Choosing that pace, choosing I think the whole thing really revolves around agency.
Right.
Because in that freedom to choose is where you really find yourself, you find your voice. I think that being able to flow in the way that meets your own needs in that moment. So the whole studio, like you can come in, you can chill out, you can grab your tea, grab your water, you can just kind of like hang out and flip through some like little art books and relax when you're ready, right? Not when someone says when you're ready, you can start. And if you need to take a break, you get to take a break. If you don't like one table because that just wasn't jiving with your soul, you can move to the next one. That's why I set up 4 different tables, just because it gives you that opportunity to flow where it naturally fits and meets you today.
That is real, by the way. I've sat in like a coffee shop waiting for a friend, and I sit there and I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's the spot. This is it. And so I love it. And that's such a small example. But like to be creative, to allow yourself to move and sit where it feels right.
Right. Because different mediums to me, when I say a medium, like, so you can do like a watercolor table, or there's alcohol inks, or maybe there's acrylics or mixed media or clay or mosaic. Every table is always different. But sometimes in different seasons, like I don't want wet, sticky paint on my hands. That's not how I'm feeling today.
Yeah.
But you can have like, some fiber that you can sit and you can fiddle with, and you can all of a sudden like paint this little scene that every medium, it meets you at a different space in your life. For me personally, because like over time, I've just kind of gone through all of them.
Yeah.
And like right now, for the first time, I am really digging watercolor. I'm lost in watercolor.
It's beautiful.
I've never done watercolor.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's right now it's super soothing. It's my little brain break that I do during the day when my brain gets tired, and it's just like really calm and peaceful, but a different season, it might not have been. So I think there's just a part of like agency and choice for where you are today. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think so many people, whether it's they grew up not being allowed to make choices, or in their adult life, they feel like everything is not what I want it to be. Right. This allows a safe space for that.
The whole foundation of safety is agency and choice. Because whether it's the world inflicting things that you're not choosing, or something that's happened in your life that has been big and traumatic that you have not chosen, or just the circumstances where you're at in this moment, they're not feeling like it's what you've chosen. Like it has been, but it's not where you want to be. And just to have a place where your choice is honored, it just feels so good.
Yeah, that alone.
So good.
That just shows you from the moment they walk in how important that space is. Yeah. Before they even get to choose, they know they can walk in to make a choice. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I know you know. You're like, I know, I built it.
And seeing people on the other side of it is the greatest. It's kind of like going in with my kids.
When they leave?
Right. Like when they leave, like, so this past weekend we had an event, and some people just came in, not like, I'm not creative. This is not necessarily my thing. And on the other side, seeing what came out and seeing how relaxed and refreshed. So like, this is someone said, it's like, this is exactly what I needed and didn't know it, you know? So a lot of times you don't know it because people are not artists, you know? You know, what's so funny? I'm not an artist.
Wait, what?
No.
I'm shocked to hear this, actually.
That is not part of my identity. And when people are like, oh, like this artist over here, I'm like, no, I'm an educator. That is how I identify, which is so bizarre. And when I do art, I tinker with art. I process through art. I do messy circles. Like, I don't consider myself someone that's sitting here composing fine art. I'm a process artist that just, it's a place for me to put my emotions onto paper. But it's not looking like something that I'm going to go sell in any art gallery. I do not. My husband keeps saying, maybe you'll find something that's your thing and you'll have an exhibit someday. And I was like, I don't know. I just don't know if I still do not even identify as an artist. I'm a place to process your feelings and emotions.
Through art.
Through art. Interesting, right?
We're back at the onion. We're back. Because that's amazing to me. I guess and although I know about you, I guess I just kind of, I put that piece in there. Like you must be an artist.
Right. No, I'm not. I do not. I'm a creative.
Yes.
I'm a creative.
Yes.
And I was taking.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm doing an intuitive art class right now. It's an intuitive painting. It's out of this group out of San Francisco. And it's like so funny to see. Like I see people that to me are artists, but I still have not come to the point that I've been battling that this week. I don't because I keep getting introduced that way, and I don't actually label myself that yet.
You're like,
and
I cringe a little. You're like, I don't know.
I still don't know if I do or if I would. So
yeah. I wonder though if we should embrace this label and just try it out, see if it fits.
I need to figure. That's why I've been battling that, Chelsea. Like legit, like trying to figure that out this week because it just keeps popping up. Because I'm in Sawyer Yards, which is a community of 450 amazing artists. So I'm in one of the largest art communities in the world with an art studio.
Like low-key imposter syndrome?
Maybe
you shouldn't have it. You're amazing.
I need to figure that out. But I'm an educator. I write curriculum. I create healing spaces. Like I have a vision for this massive healing space in the world for people to come heal from trauma. And art is it's my way of processing. Like talk therapy, I find very activating at times, but art, let me tell you, I can process through that in a way. But on the other side, is it looking like something I would want to put in an art gallery? Probably not.
I think we're being hard on ourselves. I bet it's amazing.
I don't know. We'll see.
But that's really cool. And it just goes to show you don't have to be an air quotes artist.
Yeah, you don't have to be an artist. Like my studio is not for art. And if you're wanting to come in to be the next Van Gogh, I always tell people you're in the wrong spot.
Right.
But I will connect you because you were in Sawyer Yards.
Right.
And if you're wanting technique, I can find the best technique person for whatever medium you fall in love with. But for my space, it's therapeutic to connect. It's not to get the technique that you need to perfect something.
So why did you choose Sawyer Yards at that point?
Because it's magical.
Oh, it is. It is. I've been over there before, Sawyer Yards.
It is really, really magical. And I have to say, I always, whenever I go, I'm working. And I specifically take these little breaks to walk through. And every single time I meet a fabulous person. Mm. And it's those moments of connection that are like so special to me. And then also seeing all of these brave people, it makes me super brave.
I love that.
Because artists are the bravest people ever. Like you have to be like really vulnerable and display it to the world.
Yeah. I don't even have a garage sale because I don't like to display my stuff and like get rejected or someone to walk by. I'm like, I don't want her stuff.
You will not see my face on social media hardly ever. Like I'm just not, my little world's my little world. And so I'm not really big of putting myself out there like that. So to see people that do that for a living, I just think is so courageous.
So inspiring.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love it. So you loved that area and you were like, this is where I need to be.
And I need a hub in the city center.
Right. And that's a great spot.
Right. So it's a hub where I can connect with all of the different organizations and I can have a gathering place for the different organizations that I am working with.
When you stood in the empty studio for the first time, what was the biggest fear that whispered in your ear and how did you answer it?
Oh, I think the biggest fear, it's always going to be finances for me.
Okay.
That's such a leap of faith.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm taking on a bill and I have no idea how it's going to get paid. And having financial insecurity in my past, it is really something it can be very triggering for me.
Sure.
And so that was the biggest leap of faith, but it's so big in my soul. I just don't care. Like it'll come out, it'll come together.
Yeah, we're manifesting.
It always has. Like I always take the leap and it always comes together. So I was just like, it'll be fine. I could not say no. Right. It was my space. And like once I walk in, I see things, exactly how I saw the entire studio. Every single wall was filled and I made that reality exactly like I saw it. And so I could not unsee it once I saw it. So I just did it.
There's no going back.
There's no going back. It was the coolest space on the planet. And there's 2 other studios right next to me and they're already full.
I love that your vision was bigger than the fear.
Yeah, because all of these things, like they are, like I was having a conversation yesterday with someone. I'm like, I just take the next tape and my foot might be shaken, but you just keep taking them because the dream is so big and beautiful and amazing. And it impacts people's lives in such a positive way that like, you could not do it. Like I couldn't sleep at night if I didn't do it.
You're like my spirit guide. I just, side note, I've just put in some work and I've worked on myself for a long time. And I like to consider myself healed, but some days I'm like, I don't know. But as I'm hearing you talk and I think about my fears or the things that creep up into my mind, I'm just finding it so motivating. And not because motivation comes and goes, but like in a way that triggers something in my spirit.
Yeah.
And the power that you have in that is so beautiful.
Aww.
Like It's gorgeous.
Well,
and I'm very grateful to just be in your presence right now. I really am. I feel like I know the answer to this just based on the way you light up every time we talk about it. But does the studio feel like a project, or does it feel like it is a part of your family? How do you share that journey with people you love most?
You know, it's really funny.
Tell me.
The people I love most are my family, my children.
Right.
They don't get to come to my studio.
Well, persona non grata.
So
Because it's the age, right? Because there is
I do. Yeah, it's 14 and above. My kids are younger. And they've been a couple times, and they throw my pillows on the floor, and they it's like their home because I'm their home.
Right.
And this is not their home.
Yeah. Don't get too comfy.
This is my nervous system healing space because too, I did create it for myself. Like every single part of this, like, it soothes my own nervous system. And when my children come in there, it does not.
Right. You're like, this is like, what is it? Like this is my she cave. This is where I go.
This is my she cave. But my husband gets to come, and
that's fair.
So
He respects the space.
funny. Yeah, absolutely. We fell in love painting in my garage, and I was a single mom, and the kids would go to sleep, and we would go downstairs in the garage and paint. And so for that to come kind of full circle is so special too.
I'm sorry, you are an artist.
Okay. That's how it all began. And so for him to come in and like have these moments with me at times is just so wonderful. It's so romantic. He just comes in and creates with me, and he helps like he's my little, hey, would you go? And he just takes care of all the little things that I need. I can't lift the cooler with all the ice, you know?
No.
Like
the feminism leaves my body when it's time to do things like that. I'm like, honey,
please help.
Yes. Oh,
so yeah, he's my helper.
That.
And then whenever it's done, he cleans up the whole thing. And yeah.
He's like your precious little hubby sous chef for painting and art. And
he put the whole studio together. Everything you see inside of the studio, he put together by hand. So
that's amazing. And I love that you guys got to bond in that. And it's not, although it's your baby, he got to be a part of building this dream with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is so important.
He's at home right now working on it. So
I love this man. How long have you guys been married?
So it'll be 8 years in October.
Happy anniversary. Yeah. Early, late October. Where are we? What year is it, Bob Cratchit?
Closer to, so early.
Early.
Yeah,
we're going to early. As someone who teaches no pressure, no perfection, do you ever struggle with perfectionism yourself? How do you practice what you preach when the stakes feel high in life?
Yeah, so actually this was one question that whenever I was thinking about it, there's the only one I thought about. And I asked my husband, I'm like, am I or am I not? So, and I, even on the way here, this was the one question I was thinking about.
Really?
Like, am I a perfectionist? And I would say when it comes to my work ethic, I'm a perfectionist.
Right.
I could definitely work less. Could I? I don't know. Because it's just such a big thing within my soul. And in the season of life right now, like I finally have this moment where I get to do Adrienne and to do Adrienne's vision and dream. So I am just eating it up. But I would say the rest of the time, like when it comes to my humanity, someone else's humanity, or my house or my kids being perfect, I am not a perfectionist. My art is like sloppy wet circles with watercolor that's fading everywhere. Like, so the times where I am a perfectionist is definitely in my work ethic for sure.
I think that's an okay place. Like, especially when you're like brings you so much joy.
Yeah, because there's such joy on the other side of putting all of these pieces together. Yeah. Like I see what's about to happen, and I see when people come to the studio and they leave, like I will work day and night to see that happen in people's lives. Like that is, yes, I will work perfectionistically for that.
And I love also that you're asking yourself, you're reflecting with your husband, you're like, you really do like practice what you preach in the way that you're so introspective.
Yes, to a fault at times.
Really?
Like, yes, because I've always like overanalyzed and made myself a project.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. So I definitely, and like, I would say I would overdoubt at times. Like, so after a conversation as a people pleaser, at times like, oh my gosh, did I love enough? Was I kind enough? And that's gotten me tripped up in the past. So it is a catch-22 being introspective. Like, it's very good, but also like keeping it in check, that it's like still walking in confidence and worth, and my voice matters as well.
Yes. Sure. Yeah. And what a balance like we should all hope to like attain in our life, that we can be all in, but no, we did enough. Yeah. And we are enough.
We are enough. We are enough.
We are enough. Oh, girl.
We are enough.
I have to say it to myself, like I am enough.
I'm enough.
I'm more than enough, but in a good way. Yeah. You're too much, but just the right amount. You've built a place for others to express themselves. When did you first feel like you truly found your own voice? I know you don't love being called an artist, but as an artist or as somebody who curates artistic spaces, and as a woman.
Where did I find my first? I would say I really started finding my voice on the other side of college. So
Ooh.
as a young woman, really navigating my voice, but it wasn't, I don't think that it really, it's been an evolving journey. So to say I've found it, I'm still finding it, Chelsea.
Right.
I still it's just definitely been a journey of finding my seat at the table and confidently expressing it. And I've always done it in more passive, quiet ways. So it's been there. It's there, but it's just getting bigger.
And it's like a light that just keeps growing.
Yeah, it keeps growing over time. So yeah, I definitely started like journaling when I was young and doing art when I was young. I've always traveled with like a little journal, with these little art pencils, and I would sit there no matter where I was in the world and kind of like have that connecting moment, navigating and finding my voice. But it's just growing and refining and becoming very, very clear.
Right. It's more of less of a destination and more of a practice.
Yes.
A constant.
Yeah, a constant for sure. And feeling confident to express it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that can be really, really hard in a world that's telling us like you're doing too much or you shouldn't or you can't or don't express that. Like having that vulnerability but bravery to do that.
Yeah, I've had this curriculum sitting there for 3 years now, and I'm just like, you know what? I just now recently set like this little boundary and stood up for myself in a special way that was really important, and it just kind of pushed me over the edge of, you know what? It's just time.
Yes.
You know, like it's just time.
Yes, I feel the fire. It is time. I can't wait to go read this. You've often used the phrase healing hearts, restoring lives in your mission. How does adding an official nonprofit portion of your work allow you to fulfill that heartbeat in a way that wasn't possible before?
Oh, well, I just believe that healing is not a privilege. It should be a human right. Like, seriously. And that is like fire in my bones. I would say the majority of my life, I have not had access to resources. And I have not had access to safe spaces. And they've been very, very hard for me to find. So to be creating that in a place where it's so vital and needed and it isn't existing in a lot of ways. So our nonprofit is bringing therapeutic art into Houston to trauma impacted communities. And so with that, if you don't have access to good therapy, or maybe you have had trauma from therapists, or maybe that just triggers you and it hasn't been a positive thing for you, like art, I've been able to take that little journal with my little pencils and sit and find my voice in spite of all of that. So to really share that with others and give them a tool to help cope and process and find their voice, regardless of their resources, is just my mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what you said earlier in the conversation, how sometimes kids couldn't tell you about the traumas they went through, but they could act out through other stories.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's very similar to that.
Absolutely, because like so recently, so there was something I was really stuck on and I was really struggling to process. And it was in my intuitive painting class that I finally had this moment where I was able to, because like when something's traumatic, right? Like you regulate your nervous system and then you have to express it somehow in different ways and then you have to integrate it. And I was really struggling to integrate it. And art does something that for me, talk therapy does not. And so
But that's why there's different types of therapy.
Exactly, 100%. And I want to offer both the clinical and the non-clinical. And so actually I have a meeting on Thursday. I'm really hoping to integrate the clinical piece into it all because all of it's super important. And I want 100% of it to be funded. If you need therapy, here's some funding. If you need a curriculum that you can sit and you can tinker with some thoughts and like really get some awareness, here you go. If you need some art and you need a safe space to do art, let's come. I want people that have been impacted by trauma need to have the right to heal.
Yes.
And that's what we are bringing to Houston. And I want to see how big it's going to go. I really have a passion for this in a way that I know it is going to bring change in a way that's really needed.
And you've already gotten to partner. I don't know if you're allowed to say who they are, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you've already gotten to partner with some great nonprofits in the area
Yes.
to work together.
And I cannot wait to see, like, if you are, I don't want to.
No, do it.
If you are a nonprofit organization that's working with trauma impacted communities in the Houston area, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. We are partnering with as many organizations as possible to bring resources completely free into the city of Houston. Yes,
that was the most amazing plug I've ever, anyone's ever given on this entire thing. Like that, yes, we need that.
That's what we need. And it needs to be in our schools. It needs to be, there's so many different levels of impact right now. And people there, how do you heal? People don't know.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Where do you go? And that's what we want to teach. That's the piece that I want to educate. And then the resources as far as having some art that can go anywhere. And hopefully we want to get the clinical piece in too, because it all, like, mental health matters.
Yes, it does. And we all receive it in different ways.
100%.
Taking my kids to play therapy, knowing I could not take my son to sit and talk to somebody.
Right.
But like the way that they can get him to talk or not talk, whatever, through play is completely different. So it's the same with art.
Exactly.
And expression and clinical, non-clinical.
Yeah, and so like part of as I'm releasing my curriculum, I create a hub. And it's just going to be a place where if you do trauma healing in any capacity, I want a place for people to get resources, because I have one voice, but I want your voice and I want your voice. Like, there's so many people in the community that have powerful things, and everyone is different, right?
Yes.
And so I just want a hub for all of those resources, so people have a place to go that say, hey, I'm struggling with this issue. Here's a resource that works for me. So we're kind of developing a community around that.
It's going to expand the reach.
Absolutely.
For everyone.
For everyone.
Is that part of what you want for your spaces, for other people to be able to come in and use it for, I don't know.
Yes.
No,
I'm only there 3 days out of the week.
Right.
And so I actually, if someone wants to come in and they offer, whether it be any sort of event where they are offering a safe space, whether it be a creative event or a group in any capacity that wants to have something that's a healing space for others, you can come in and use my space. And all of that is on there. Because,
what a gift.
Yeah, because when I was looking for a space, I couldn't find one. And so, that's one of the main reasons I went. I was like, I'm just going to rent a space and figure it out, because I couldn't on a weekly basis continue to find a space to gather. And so now I'm offering what I was needing for other groups. Yeah.
You're like the definition of they didn't have it, so I created it.
Whenever there's a problem that needs fixing or I can't find what I'm looking for, I just create the solution. That's my entire internal thing that's happening. Yes.
That is beautiful. No, people don't always have that. It's so nice you're not only saying like, I want to be the change I wish to see in the world, you're like, I am making the change I wish to see in the world.
You have to have those practical tools. Like, a lot of people are like, they have these theoretical ideas of the change, but I'm all about like taking like all of these abstract ideas and theories and ideas and books, and let's give you a practical tool that can actually function in the hands of any person on the planet to be that source of change.
And you're like, we're making it practical.
We're making it practical. It has to be practical. It has to be simple, right? Like we started this whole conversation.
Yes.
This is all really simple. Like some watercolors and some paint on it. It's really, really simple.
But sometimes that's the simplest answer is the best one.
It's really simple. Just a safe space to gather, because community is such a big part of this. Like any sort of healing, like it has to happen. Like I can only do so much on my own, but it's only in that place of connection with others do you truly find, for me, the breakthrough that I would need in a particular area, or the space to process. Like, we were created for community. We were created for that connection. And in these days and times, it's so easy to be isolated because the world's freaking scary.
Right.
You know, who's safe these days? I don't know. So, you have to so that's kind of, I'm looking for a safe space. Let's just create one, Chelsea. Right. Let's just create one.
I'm like, let's create one. Let's do it right now.
Well, you're the person I reached out to. I'm like, how did you find this? How do you create this?
Oh, gosh. To be a help to you, even in a tiny way, like where I can give you a resource I know about is a gift to me, to be able to do that, because I know you'll take it and you'll run with it and you'll create this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's, a gift to everyone. So Thank you for letting me be a part of it by asking me a question.
Well, I knew you were a safe person, so it was a safe space to ask.
Thank you. I really want to be that for people.
Yep.
So thank you. You spent a decade coordinating Feed the Homeless events and raising funds for survivors of domestic violence. Is the new nonprofit an evolution of an early community effort, or did it spring from a completely different dream?
So I will say, over time, I have done things within those realms.
Okay.
So I did a really big, I had a bakery. When I first left teaching, I had a bakery and I baked all night long so I could adopt my son from the foster care system because I needed to be home to make that happen. And so it was during that time that we loved, my oldest, he loved to take baked goods to feed people in the city. So whenever we had extras, like it just made him come alive. So we did things along those lines. And I think that too, with everything that is culminating now, there's always these seeds of things that have just kind of been sprinkled throughout my life. Yeah. Like I'm seeing now, like I just started this nonprofit. I got the final piece of paper on Monday that I'm like official.
That's amazing.
I cried. Of course, I cried because like when I was a little girl, there was this mission I wanted to go on and my parents were like, well, if you get the money, and they're like, that's their way of saying no. Because this girl, she can't, raise $3,000 at, what. Let me tell you, I did it.
I believe it. If anyone can do it.
And I just did that throughout my life. Like if there's this big thing I wanted, I would always like figure out this way to make it happen. So just seeing those pieces of myself, even as a young girl now, like being woven into who, like I was still that girl, and to see that coming into play now as
we've just evolved.
I'm just evolving. Right. Yeah. It's just an evolution of who I am for sure. But I've always been the same girl. Now it just looks different.
Yeah. Tenacious as ever. I freaking love it. Oh my gosh. It's so clear to me how you've always had a heart for people and the things you've gone through in your life have brought you to these beautiful places of wanting to be there for others and help others. So when you started this, did you know like, hey, I know I want a nonprofit to be a part of this, like intertwined, or did it come as you were planning?
So I just opened up the studio because I knew that was the next step. And the first thing I did was reach out to organizations because like that's the heart behind it, right? And I really wasn't planning it for like maybe like a year or two. Like I wasn't planning on anything until I finished my doctorate program. Like nothing's happening until that's finished. But like all of the different organizations are so excited, but I had to have funding. So that's kind of why, like, was I planning on it immediately? No. Was it something I knew in the future? Yes. But as soon as I saw that, okay, I want 70 kids in camp this summer, I'm going to have to get it funded, So that's where if I want to serve in the way I want to serve this summer, I need to do this now. So,
wow.
Yeah, the next month I will be spending the next 6 weeks of my life fundraising because I am determined my babies need my camp this summer.
Yes.
So that's what I will do. Yes. I will tenaciously pursue it.
Yes. And
with bravery.
Yes. And I feel like just seeing you and watching you, I feel like things are going to keep falling into place.
Yeah.
I truly believe it. And I see it. I see like I see the sun. You encourage people to unplug from the constant connection of their devices when at the studio. What have you noticed about people's energy shifts the moment they actually put their phones away and pick up a brush? Do you ever find yourself needing to check it at the door in your own life?
I would just say it's an immediate exhale. Like just like the constant whirl, right? And like to come into a space and just enter a space and disconnect, like it's just, you can almost just see the relaxation on someone's shoulders. And I would say I definitely do that in my own world. It's when I finish a day, I sit down and I paint or I go on a walk or I do something to reconnect with self. There was a group I did yesterday that was so great. And you just like when you disconnect, that grounding and that reconnection, it's just so peaceful. Whatever it is, whether it be connecting into community or connecting into art or connecting to yourself on a walk or taking some deep breaths and just having a moment away from the whirl of all that a phone consists of. My husband, he has it titled his anxiety brick.
That's funny.
Because you pick it up and it's just like,
you know what? Call it what it is.
And so, yes, I love those moments to disconnect from it all and to just have that moment to center again. Absolutely.
Well, and sometimes people don't realize they need to disconnect from their phones.
Yeah.
So having that as a kind of, hey, let's put our phones away. Let's, be in this moment. People don't realize they need to put it down.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I stopped looking at my phone first thing in the morning a while back, like I made like a hardcore stop, that I realized how much it was affecting me.
Yeah.
So
because the world starts the entire, because even if it's not like looking at what's happening in the world, it's still
the validation or
the list of things to do or the pressure of that next thing or just the calendar,
girl, the calendar.
whichever thing it is, it's on there
Yeah.
and I see it and it immediately starts that inside of me. So yeah, I appreciate those moments to disconnect.
Yes, and it allows people to be in the moment.
Yes, in the moment.
And who knows
that's
what you'll
hard.
find.
Yeah, but when you do, it's so amazing. This one lady that recently, she's like, I'm not an artist. I don't, and to see that on the other side, her connection with herself and that, it was so beautiful. It was really, she walked away completely different than she walked in, and it was really, really special.
I love it. Is there this little piece of you when people walk in and like, oh, I'm not an artist. Like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like, whatever. Are you kind of like, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Absolutely. Because it's just so fun. Regardless of anything, like just it brings out your inner child, that playfulness.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a big part. Like, you need to take care of yourself, right? And there's the daily physical things, but you also need a moment to just play.
We don't have enough fun.
Yeah, we need to have
not like-
a little bit more fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm the worst at that because I'm very serious.
Really?
I'm very work oriented, right?
Okay.
So I'm
You
very
have missions, goals.
Right. So I'm very intentional about meeting that through, art and connecting. Yeah, for sure.
But I love, you said something a little bit ago, and I just want to walk back. When you said that you spend your evenings like doing something for you, connecting with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you do that. Even when you're going on a walk or you're painting, do you find that those are fun moments for you?
Oh, 100%. And that's why I have to be intentional about taking care of those needs, recognizing that and taking those moments for myself. Because like, if I don't, like, no, I'm frustrated. I'm irritated. I'm not the same person.
Yeah.
And I'm not as effective, like whether I'm like loving my family or working hard, like when you're running on fumes, everything that you're doing is showing that.
Right. Well, and people can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah.
It just breathes. Like you can, yes. When I see people that are running on fumes, like come on, let's
come
take a
here.
deep
Here's
breath.
a paintbrush. Take
Here's
some clay.
tea.
Here's some tea.
And I also, throughout my space, I have bottles of essential oil. I'm like, those are here for you.
Yeah.
Like, come in, let's regulate, let's calm down, enjoy them.
Yes. Is it kind of like, because I had someone in here last week who's a yoga instructor, and she was talking about how it's your space at the time.
Yeah.
Some people will come in and they'll just lie in child's pose the whole time. Do you ever have somebody who comes in and they're just like, can I just be in here? Like, can I be a part of the space, but like,
absolutely.
can I just breathe? Can I just drink some tea? Can I just sit on the in the chair?
Absolutely. And we actually, I have a whole little space just for that. And
Of course you do. You thought
I
of
have my
everything.
little sensory fidgets.
Oh,
and it's
that's
just
beautiful.
Yeah. And I have the essential oils going. So if it's just like to step away from all of it, because that matters too. Sometimes that's what you're needing.
Yes.
You know what
and
I
that's
mean?
why I asked,
Yeah,
is it
for
because
sure.
you said, they have the ability to choose. And it's like, what if it's like, not necessarily that they can't choose, but they just need to be.
Right. Yeah. So we have a little quiet space just for that.
Of course you do. You really thought of everything.
Well, because it's what I need. Yeah. So it's easy to know, like, what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you need, to give that to others and recognize that and even like whenever I was first designing all this, I designed it as a pop-up.
Yeah. Okay.
And so even at my pop-ups, I had a little quiet station, Because
we need a quiet
And I'm like,
station.
I don't even know how I'm going to set up a quiet station wherever I do this pop-up, but
Yeah.
I knew in my brain that needed to exist, like wherever we were. Because also too, like when you connect, like sometimes like you can feel like overwhelmingly tired at times, or
Yeah.
sometimes something can be triggering, or sometimes like you just feel overwhelmed, like with whatever, like it's taking those moments is really important. And that's part of connecting with yourself and your body, is knowing
Yes.
what you need and honoring that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that can be really hard to do.
That can be really hard to do,
Just
particularly when you don't want to look like, like, oh, I'm the one not participating enough, or I'm not doing enough, or no, like you are doing something when you're honoring yourself and taking a quiet moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's intentional.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's so, I could go on, but we're not. This isn't about me today. But I feel like I want to tell you everything about me.
I want you to.
How does the energy of the room change when people are connecting with a partner versus when they are quietly connecting with themselves?
Right. And I will say that, like, So like this past evening, we had it mixed, right? And I think that the whole room just kind of connected. And I've had afternoons where the whole studio, it's really quiet and introspective.
Yeah.
And I think that in those moments, like for me, being the one facilitating, just trusting that people are getting exactly what they're needing. And sometimes it comes alive into this whole group connection. And sometimes people walk away and it was very quiet, but they walked away more connected to themselves and in a better place. So however it goes, you just trust it's exactly what they needed.
Yeah. And this isn't one of my questions, but I just had this pop into my head. Is it hard for you as somebody who, you're when it comes to your type A-ness, like it's in work, right? Do you ever find yourself wanting to walk up to somebody and be like, can I help you? Do you need anything? Like, and do you have to keep yourself pulled back? Do you just kind of listen to what the vibe is?
So I used to wait tables. And so I think
Right.
that's part of like you're always kind of gauging that with someone. Like, what are they wanting? What are they needing? I communicate in advance. I am here for you however you need, because it's not about me.
Right.
It's not about, this is not my session. This is your moment to connect. And some people are wanting to engage and they're wanting feedback and they're wanting more instruction. And some people don't. And so just being truly respectful of that, because this is not an art class.
Right.
Right. And so some people come in, I think, wanting a traditional art class potentially.
Right.
And so I just communicate that everywhere, that this is a place for you to come in and explore and connect with yourself. And then I'll kind of go through and I will ask, hey, do you want a suggestion on this or do you want the lowdown? Because certain stations like to give a quick run through and then let them go. And some people, they don't want that either. They just truly want to experience it for themselves. So just respecting that and being there to support and however they are needing, and not how I am wanting their session to go, because it's not about me.
Right.
My hardest thing though is that since it's not about me, I'm not supposed to like give, oh, that's great. Or,
that was my next question. I was going to ask you, how do you deal with that?
I don't do it well because I'm so excited to see what people are creating. And so I haven't navigated that. So I will probably fall in love with what you do and probably vocalize it. And I have to get better because that's not the whole point of the session.
Right.
But it's seeing beauty flow out of people. It's hard not to get excited.
Yes.
And to share exactly how I feel.
Right. Right. Because you're not just, and I'm sure their pictures are gorgeous. Whatever they're creating is gorgeous, but it's not about that. I know you see the soul behind it.
Right. It's not about that. And then if you're not equally saying the same thing to every person in the room, then someone else will feel less than. And it's not about that either. Right. So like you have to, so giving opinions and feedback, I'm working on making sure I don't do it.
That's so hard. I feel like this is a much lesser, because as a mom, for example, our kids are like, what do you think of this? And I stopped a while back. My first instinct is, well, what do you feel about it? What do you think about it?
Right.
And that's so hard, all the time, because I just want to be like, oh my God, but I don't want them to seek my approval.
Right.
I mean, you can have it if you want it and you need it, but like, I want this to be about what you think.
Right.
So I feel like on a lesser scale, because you're working with a lot more people, a lot more personalities, but
it's the same concept.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the same thing. And it's really difficult for me because I just want to gush.
So when you don't gush, what do you say? Are you like, that's a picture? Or are you like, or are you just like, what do you think? Or how do you feel?
Yeah. What do you think? Or
probably don't say the first thing I said.
How was that? Is this your, is this a medium that you're really enjoying? Or is it,
that.
So just asking more about their experience than giving my opinion on their work, right? Like just being interested in how they're experiencing the studio.
I like that because it's a transition of that, but you're still making them important. Okay, I'm focusing on what you're doing, but it's not about.
I'm caring about your experience. I'm caring about who you are, and I'm right here supporting you in this moment.
Yeah,
but I'm not telling you how great you are,
even though you are. Even though you are, and I love you. I'm glad you're here. What is one thing that helps you completely disconnect from the world? Is there a specific book, a walk, or a certain park? A favorite snack?
Yeah, I love to take my little walks.
Yeah.
And I definitely, what's funny is I come home and I take 30 minutes and I usually paint or something or scribble or journal. I just have that grounding connected moment, whatever I need. I really do, like my little essential oils and hot teas, just like those nervous system regulating things that make me throughout the day feel like you're loved, you're cared about, like you matter, so I just kind of do those things throughout the day. But in the evenings, I will come home from a stressful or long working day and I will seriously sit there and do more art.
something I've seen stand out since you were talking about, like, even as a kid, you very much so, and I mean this in the most beautiful way, you like romanticize life.
I do.
And I think more people should do that.
I do.
Because it's so gorgeous to say, I'm going to set the scene for myself because I deserve that.
Yes.
I'm going to talk to myself in a way I would talk to a friend because that's what I need.
I like to give myself a hug.
Give yourself a hug. Like, do the essential oils, like, journal and scribble. I think that is so beautiful.
Yeah, well, I need it because it regulates my nervous system.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So knowing what things work for me, and everyone's different, right? Like everyone regulates different. Everyone expresses different. For some people, expressing their stress and their stuff and getting it out is, judo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But you have your thing.
Right, you have your thing. And that's why it's so important to teach our kids and the next generation, like, what is healthy coping and what is your thing, and helping them find their thing, because life is stressful.
Yeah.
And everyone needs that healthy space and that healthy thing, because if not, it's going to be the unhealthy things. So I like to educate. That's where my educator comes in, of like, okay, let's discuss coping skills. What are yours? What are the not good ones? How do we recognize it in our body, to know that we need this? So,
and I love that you give people those tools and words when we don't always know what it is. We're not all know how to be that introspective.
Yeah. And I didn't have, that's the thing, Chelsea, I did not know that what a boundary was until I was 32.
Right. Wow.
I had no idea what passive versus aggressive versus assertive, like my voice, like I was finding my voice, but actually asserting my voice somewhere in the world, I am still learning, so it's just it's an onion.
Yes. And it, like we said earlier, it's a practice.
It's a practice, and you have to practice it. And I'm still practicing, and I will always be practicing.
Yeah. But you practice it boldly, which I feel like is the difference maker, is like, you're like, I'm going to do it though. I'm going to show up and I'm going to try it.
Yes.
I may do that and go, I don't know if that was for me, but you're trying it.
Yes, absolutely.
On a day when you wake up feeling heavy, what is the first small thing you do for yourself to shift your energy?
The first thing that I do, and I'm very intentional about doing, because you can be a pile of ashes, and that first small thing you do snowballs. And one of those consistent things is drinking a big glass of water, because I matter.
Yes. And hydration is so important to our life.
And but it's that small act of like recognizing my humanity and caring about it and tending to it. And that it snowballs into the rest of the day and the rest of my life. But it's those small acts, like I didn't, in broken places of my life, I haven't always had, you don't have the big gestures, right? You can't go join the group or join the therapy or start this new exercise routine, but I could muster that glass of water. So I maintain that even when I wake up and I'm just like, ugh, like if I can just do that, it starts that small act of really caring about myself from,
That's such good, tangible advice for the person who feels like I don't have time to stop.
Yeah.
But I have time to get a glass of water.
Yeah, absolutely. I
just you matter.
Because I matter. And it was so funny when my husband first met me. He there was the breath thing, you can do that makes you stop and take a deep breath.
Oh, like on your smartwatch and stuff? Yes.
And he was like, you really need to do that. It's like, I don't have time to
You're
breathe.
like clutching. You're like, what do you mean?
I was like, that was so irritating. Like, I was a single mom with 2 babies, running a business at night while they slept, and then being a mom during the day. Like that, it was not where I was at. Now I do that all the time. But where I was at, I could handle the glass of water.
Right. But that also ties back into what you're saying. It's like when people don't understand like where you're coming from in that moment. So it's so important to say, like, I'm here for you. I see you, Mom.
You're right.
I see you. I've been there. And if this is all you can do, that's okay.
And it's a great start. And over time, it evolves and it grows. And you start taking the deeper breaths.
Yes. And like you said, snowball. Yeah.
Just those small acts of self-care can really transform your life. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so important. I feel like people need to hear that. I need to hear that. And I know it. And I need to hear it again.
I remind myself daily with my glass of water.
We have to. What's a piece of standard business advice you've been given that you chose to completely ignore because it didn't align with your soul?
Oh,
I was excited to ask you this question.
So you're supposed to have 6 months of funds on hand before launching anything to completely cover every expense for this 6 months.
Right.
And I've always done that. And with this, I only had 3.
And you're like,
it doesn't matter. It will come together because it's what aligns with who I am and I trust it. So yeah, I only had 3 this time.
Wow. And it was, you know what? It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. It'll all come together.
And it has.
Yeah,
It already has.
Yes.
And I know it's a continuation.
Right.
But it has.
That's definitely a piece of business advice, so that's pretty standard that I didn't, and I've always been very meticulous in so many ways when it comes to business. But I just threw that caution to the wind with this one, Chelsea.
The dream's too big, baby.
Too big.
Then you're like, well, I could do that. Or
we're just going to go for it.
I think that's dreamy. I know we can't apply that to all aspects of life,
My
but
dad would say irresponsible, but
Well,
I'll say dreamy.
yeah, dreamy to one, irresponsible to the other. Who's having more fun? What would the Adrienne of today say to little Adrienne, who is just dreaming of this place so long ago? What would you put her on your arm, put your arm around her? What would you say?
In all of the long years of waiting, it's all going to come together. Because it's been I'm 45. Mm-hmm. And so to just now be tapping into my mission of what I know I was created for and my purposes on this planet, that's a long journey, like 35 years, right? To have the stream before you actually start. So just, and it's going to be worth the wait. I haven't seen the fullness of the worth the wait, but I have. Like in here, I have. Like, yes. I know.
Well, in the way it's all coming together, I feel like it's showing you the sparks.
Yeah, absolutely.
All, and I feel like little Adrienne would thank you for being someone she needed.
Yeah.
I really do.
And that is 100% my curriculum. I wrote it for 18-year-old Adrienne. That was my audience. Because they say like when you're writing something, like what is your audience? I wrote it to my 18-year-old self, like, girlfriend, like if I could teach you something now that would spare you years of heartache, this is what you need to know. And so it's all written from that perspective. But it was to my 18-year-old self.
But I feel like those are the girls who need to hear it the most. We, like our younger, like teen to young adult selves, right? When we are just like, we have to have it together, or we have no one, or we have nothing, or those, those big negative feelings.
Right.
They're there, and we don't have the regulation skills at the time.
Right. And so and it starts with identity. Mm-hmm. That's always the starting point. But the identity in the sense of like, you were valuable, you were lovely. Yes. You were worth it. You were worth the time. You're worth the energy. So it's more of those identity than the big labels. Like, I don't know if I'm an artist or not, but I do know that I'm valuable.
Why are you trying to make me cry? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where, so when I say it starts with identity, it's more of those sorts of things.
Yes. I totally see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You talk about people leaving lighter. Beyond just a finished piece of art, what's the biggest impression you hope to have on those visiting your studio, whether it's through their time doing individual work, their date nights, or through nonprofit sessions? Like, what do you hope people walk away feeling? Right.
To walk away feeling grounded and connected to themselves. That is the whole point of the entire thing, because that inner voice knows everything it needs to know. And whenever we get disconnected from it, it's when we kind of stray off all these different paths. So to have that space where people can come in and hear their voice again and walk out in that grounded space changes everything.
Before we finish, I would love if you're down for a few little rapid fire funsies.
Okay.
Just for funsies. Morning coffee or evening tea?
Both.
Yes.
I start with coffee, but then I'm an herbal tea drinker throughout the day.
Yeah. Are you like an afternoon pick-me-up? Like, do you need a little caffeine boost in the afternoon, or are you good to go?
I would be a nut job if I had any more than my first caffeine. Like, my energy level is so sky high, and it makes me feel anxious. So I intentionally do not do more caffeine because I would not be fun to be around.
Okay.
I'm already
know yourself.
Way too much.
You are perfect. You are perfect. The first thing you do when you turn off your phone?
Oh, exhale.
Really? Do you mindfully do that, or do you find that you did it?
I think that I just naturally kind of do that. Deep breathing is something that I very much do a lot of.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I think that when I turn off my phone and I set it aside, it's always, even if I don't do it physically, in my mind I am, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. What is the biggest barrier you're excited to break down by becoming a nonprofit?
Oh, that trauma healing would not be a dirty word. It's so cringy. People, like, if you say trauma, like, I don't even put it overtly on my page. People say trauma and they're like, because it requires vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
Like anything beyond the
And
surface.
it's heavy.
Right. And so to tap into anything that's not on the surface is scary for people, particularly when you don't know if it's safe, right? So making it a place where it's safe and beautiful and introspective and lovely and connected
Right.
and not that cringy scary.
Yes. Oh, that's so true. And so, you don't think about it, but up until when I was ready to do my healing journey, I probably would have seen the word trauma and go, that's not for me.
Right. And so many people are like, I've never experienced trauma. If you're breathing, you've experienced trauma. I'm sorry. Just what's
Yes.
happening in the world at times can be traumatic.
And it may not live here, but it can live here.
Exactly. It'll live in your body.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like we weren't connected to all the crazy things happening in the world because we didn't have phones when we were growing up. Now you're seeing it all the time.
24/7.
That stress is in your body, whether you are recognizing it or not, it's there. And so whether you're healing from it or you're just expressing it and releasing it and living a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
We deserve to live a little bit lighter, no matter what's happening, no matter how the world looks around you, you can on a daily basis live lighter.
Yes. And you should, if you can. Do it.
Absolutely.
One word for how you feel when the studio is empty and quiet.
Oh, peaceful. Oh, it's so peaceful. I cannot wait for you to walk in the door. Everyone that
I'm
walks
so
in
excited.
has a very sensory experience. They feel the need to vocalize because it's super peaceful. It's a natural, like visceral response that people have that it's really cool. It's really lovely to watch.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. Oh, I just can't say it enough. The best snack for a long painting or art session. Like when you're there, what do you?
Charcuterie. I take little bento boxes of charcuterie.
Stop. What's in your charcuterie box? You are a charcuterie. Okay, so what's in it?
Oh,
Just
well,
like
I always have
little
some fresh
cheesy.
fruit and some little cheese, and you
Yes,
got to have
'cause-
the little meats and the little snack nuts and the
Right back to
the crispy
romanticizing.
crackers. Yes, I
Yes.
just make myself my own little picnic, girl.
Do you encourage people to bring in little snacks and food and stuff like that as well? Like if
Absolutely.
they're coming out a date night kind of vibe or
Yeah, we don't do the only thing we don't do is if it's not a private session, we don't do BYOB unless it's a private because
That's
we
fair.
like to be respectful to those that maybe have been traumatized by alcohol or are in the recovery community.
that's so fair.
But yeah, if you have a group of like 8 to 10, like you can book and you can bring in your wine and have all of your things. Yeah.
How
But you can
cool.
always bring in food, but we just like to be respectful with the drinking unless it's going to be private.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're like, we have like our teas and we have our things. Like,
Right.
we're not going to be parched.
We always have our Waterloo sparkling water, crisp and cold.
I love Waterloo.
I do too.
It's
We have
my
a
favorite
whole fridge
one.
full.
I just want to tell you how much this time has meant to me. I am so grateful for not only what you've brought to me today and what you're bringing to our listeners, but what you're bringing to the community.
Oh.
Just by being who you are and taking the things in your life that one, you should not have had to go through, but taking it and saying, I'm going to use it as a superpower and be the change I want to see in the world. I'm just so grateful for who you are as a human.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
I feel like I could talk to you for like the whole day. So I won't do that to you, but I'm super grateful.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. It's really meant a lot. And this is my favorite part about all of this is getting to have these moments. So thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. Before we leave, can you tell everyone just a little portion of your website before, but can you tell everyone where they can find you, follow you, learn more, support you?
For sure. Every single thing is on restorationresources.org, and you can find everything from our curriculum and the work that I'm doing with that, as well as the studio, our nonprofit that we're launching. If you go up underneath programs on Restoration Resources, everything is listed, and it connects you to an entire world of resources. So you can connect there.
Yes. Oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to visit. I know you all can't wait to visit either. And again, just thank you.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you, Chelsea.